Yeah, I'm Ben, 34. Back in 2019, I had an epileptic seizure. I've had epilepsy since I was 15. I had an epileptic seizure in 2019. My dog, who I'd had for 10 years, obviously got scared and did all the damage to my face, which caused me to lose my nose. It was very lucky that I did manage to call the ambulance. At this point, obviously, I didn't know. I hadn't looked in the mirror. I was still, anyone who has epilepsy after a seizure, you know, you're very confused, dazed. You don't know what your name is, or I'll hand you a mirror, and it's going to be quite a shock.
Okay, I had to stop it there. Cause I put the warning up, but this guy got messed up pretty bad. How's the volume? Because the volume on this video is very low. It's very low. You know what? I'll do something different. I'll just go ahead and go over it with you all. Welcome back to everybody. But he's basically explaining what I'm about to explain right now. And this is the most recent report of this happening. Now, this happens all the time. Somebody has a seizure and the dog starts mauling them. But I want y'all to look at how they worded this in 2024. How dare you? Knowing that we're out here. Epileptic man has nose rebuilt using his ribs after dog ripped it off during a seizure. He has had this dog for 10 years. Where you at, dog lovers? Hugs and kisses, no sign of aggression for 10 years. That's why, dog lovers, if you ever want to interact with me, I see you saying it in the comment section a lot. You want to tell me that, hey, I got my dog for X amount of time. It's never shown any aggression. My response is, so what? That doesn't mean anything. The dog is willing and able to attack you at any point during its life. And for no reason at all. And I'm going to show y'all another example of that on this stream. Dogs should scare all of you because they are deadly and they will attack out of nowhere for no reason and attack anybody, including you, the owner, who's been laying in bed with it, seeing it every day, hugging and kissing on it. Y'all think y'all building up some type of bond when y'all are emotionally or physically affectionate with these things. And this confuses a lot of women because I think women have more confidence in their show of affection than men. And that's why dogs have attacked far more women over the past 4 or 5 years. You're much more likely to believe that the affection you show the thing is appreciated by it and is, as if it's a human being. Oh, my hugs and kisses work. You think your hugs and kisses work. Huge deception right there. Now, that's him when he was younger. But look at this. This is in the Express. Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. In 2024, look at how they wrote this, how they worded it. Man lost his nose when dog ripped it off, trying to save him from a seizure. Really? By mauling his face? And they doubled down. Look at this. During one episode, his dog became spooked and mauled his owner's face, ripping off his nose. And really? Y'all must not know how dogs behave when they're scared. And even if it was scared, why wouldn't it just tuck tail, go ball up in the corner, shake and tremble, and watch? If your owner is on the ground shaking, yeah, he looks weird, but you should not feel threatened. You should feel like you got more of an upper hand. You should feel less threatened. If you see somebody laid out on the floor, much lower than the dog's level, shaking and trembling or drooling at the mouth. Don't give me that. Y'all, no, this is y'all's argument from y'all so-called experts. A dog is going to get afraid seeing somebody fall into a seizure? Make that make sense. You're not allowed to do that. Y'all try to project this idea that nobody knows what goes on in the mind of a dog but you. You can't speak for nobody's thoughts that haven't been verbalized. So, y'all know I've taken way too long to say that. I'm going to say it again. Y'all need to stop pretending that you know what's going on in these mutants' mind when they haven't verbalized it to you. That's why you got to go on their behavior, their actions. If a dog is launching an attack, it's not scared. I don't care who it's attacking, unless it's fighting back in self-defense. Another thing, it ripped his nose off. Parts of his mouth and chin. This sound like a long mauling, right? That's not fear. That mutant saw its owner of 10 years as an easy target. I told y'all, when you start to have a seizure, the dog, all it sees is a suffering person look like they're in pain, dying. You look like you're dying. Predators have an instinct to kill all living creatures that look like they're in the process of dying. I said this before. When you look at a person having a seizure, envision a dog latched onto their neck. They function during the seizure the same way you do when you're getting mauled. You're sitting there sometimes now, shaking, trembling, foaming at the mouth. Look like you're suffering. It's an instinct for these killers, these natural born killers, to finish you off when you're having a seizure. Only dog love. I mean, hey, good luck to y'all. Good luck to y'all. Trying to push the idea these things are loving creatures. The man came to and managed to call for an ambulance, but struggled to come to terms with his new appearance. Over the last 5 years, he has had around 10 surgeries using bones from his ribs. Now, he is starting to accept himself in hopes by sharing his story, he can help others going through something similar. Help others do what? Help them to get rid of their dog. That's what you better say. How many people believe that that's what he wants? Do you think he's going to tell us that he'll never surround himself with a dog again? Dude, you had a seizure. So you going to go right back and get a dog and risk being mauled again? This didn't wake you up. Now, my apologies to the members. This on top of his forehead was not a blister, but it looked like a blister. But they just had to take skin from his forehead and flap it down over his nose to try to reconstruct the nose. The nose was gone. It was off. It was bitten off. All he had was this, essentially. So they took some skin from his forehead and flapped it over his nose to reconstruct his nose. But look at this. He said, during one of my night seizures, he doubled, tripled down. My dog got scared. You heard him just say it in the video. Ain't no dog scared of you having a seizure. Go out in front of any dog. Lay on the ground and start having convulsions. Tell me what the dogs do. I tell you what they're going to do. They're going to get closer to you and possibly attack you because you look vulnerable. You don't look intimidating having a seizure. Why would it get scared? Aggression, intimidation is the one thing dogs understand. You don't look intimidating laying flat on the ground. Y'all know this. When it comes to dog dominance, that's the one thing dogs understand. If you want to submit to another dog, you lower your head beneath that dog's level. And even in that case, the dogs are still on their feet. But if one lowers its head, that's submission. When you're having a seizure, your whole body lowered. That's essentially like rolling over on your back, which is another behavior that dogs understand is a display of submission and trust. There ain't nothing intimidating. These dogs are not getting scared of y'all while you're having a seizure. And I'm emphasizing this because this is not the first time. It's not the first time they've said this. He said my whole house was plastered in blood. Called 999. What? Wow. That's what y'all call? I meant to touch on that before. Yeah, that ain't cool. But anyways, he said I couldn't really talk, but I managed to convey I needed an ambulance. When I came around, a nurse said, look at this. I'm going to hand you a mirror, okay? And it's going to be a big shock. That I couldn't quite believe the amount of damage. Why do y'all always say this? Why do y'all always say this? If you're going to get attacked by a dog, haven't you ever looked at their teeth? How can you still be ignorant of how much damage they can inflict when you have the internet? I would expect dog owners to look up things like this. How much damage dogs do. I would expect that all of you have Googled attacked by dog or person attacked by dog and looked at the images. Y'all telling me y'all not even thinking to do that? I'm going to give y'all a tip right now, and it might be the problem you all having. Stick to organic food and vegetables only. Don't eat nothing else, because I suspect it's something in the food is destroying people's brains. It's destroying your brain cell. And you need to, that's a whole different video. He said it was heartbreaking. I'm really trying to accept myself. Now look at this last sentence. Where you at, Jacqueline Duran? I know you tune into these videos. Brooklyn Curry. I know y'all tune into these videos. He said, it's learning to love yourself in the way that you are, rather than reflecting on how you used to be. Oh no, you're going to reflect on how you used to be for the rest of your life. Maybe not constantly, but it's going to pop in and out of your head for the rest of your life. How can you not advise the public to get rid of their dogs? At least people who have seizures like yourself. You haven't seen the light yet? Better question. After being mauled, have you looked online and did a search on people attacked by a dog during seizure. Boy, oh boy. Humanity is doomed. We're spiraling downhill fast. And I'm talking everybody. In a few little decades, everybody gonna be zombies. Y'all all essentially zombies now. And I'm not just talking about dog culture, but let's continue. So after the attack, his lip was hanging down. Wait a minute, how's my volume? Okay. His lip was hanging down. He had lost a lot of his chin, and he only had the septum bone of his nose. He went to the hospital and stayed there under surgery for 10 hours. Is it worth it? No. No. This is incredible. Over half the population here in the United States plumb out of their minds. Man, I feel sorry for y'all. It's scary. I feel sorry for y'all, man. Because see, y'all's ignorance of these mutants it affects everybody. He said, I remember looking in the mirror and I just wished I hadn't managed to call an ambulance. I know, see, and thank you for being honest and revealing that you have suicidal thoughts. And sometimes you wish you had not made it. How likely do you think it is that Jacqueline Duran said this exact same thing? That, hey, sometimes I wished I didn't make it. What's life if you're going through life with no face? And especially if you're young, Jacqueline Duran was very young. What was she, like 20? She's probably in her late teens. You got to go the majority of your life like this. At a time like now when you're supposed to be finding a husband, dating. It's supposed to be the prime years of your love life. And instead, you got no love life. In Jacqueline Duran's case, her boyfriend tried to stick it out, but I think he's left her. And to be honest, the right thing to do for her is to tell him to leave. She should want the best for him. Without question, that has affected their relationship. And y'all still not advising the general public to avoid these things at all costs? Y'all doomed. This is an example. The dog culture is already doomed. Every now and then, you'll get people who were once dog lovers who turn against it. Every now and then. And look, I hope I'm wrong on that one. If you used to be a hardcore dog lover and now you are a part of our movement, let me know. Leave that quick, brief comment in the comment section. You don't even have to write no words. Just use an emoji with a hand raised. Lord. He decided to go down the route of Reconstruction in 2021. The involved creating more of a septum for his nose, but this collapsed after look at this. Man got a hole in his nose, just a hole. How is that supposed to block mosquitoes and other bugs? They're going to fly in your face, go right up to your brain. I was telling the members the other day, you can throw items directly into that hole. How is that? And he got one nostril now. I'm sorry, but his love life is over. If you got to go the rest of your life with a hole in your face for a nose, you're going to have a hard time finding a wife. And that's just not cool. That's not cool. For y'all to not suggest to the general public to avoid these things at all costs is, if you ask me, criminal. It's criminal. Man, oh man, he got a shotgun nose. It's not a nose no more. It's just a hole. Everything that makes up what a nose is gone. Doesn't even look like he got a bridge. And y'all still not telling him. That's all he should be saying. The only thing he should be talking about is how crazy he was for having a dog. And look, you got to go the rest of your life. You're going to have more seizures. Why don't you even suggest to other people who have seizures to get rid of the dog? It's not worth the risk. You just found that out. So listen, man, if you still got a dog, man, I'm going to keep up with this guy. I'm going to keep up. This is a recent story. Just broke. Okay, buddy, I got your name. We all got your name. I'm sure you got social media or something. You go right back to surrounding yourself with dogs after this. It's irrefutable people being brainwashed. Y'all think I got the tinfoil kufi on. No, people are being brainwashed. Do you know this guy was an aerospace engineer? On his way to being he was in healthy shape, looked like he was in athletic condition. Young man. Women were going to trip over each other for him. You think they gonna do that now? They might. You might get one here and there. But how's it gonna feel when you know they're just with you primarily for your money? Now, let me get this man's pension, is right? Wow. If you have got some high tier career like this, the more important it is for you to protect your safety. Lord. He wished he didn't call the ambulance. Said, I didn't see how I could live with what happened. He decided to go down the route of construction. Okay. Here's this right here. They took the skin from his left forearm also to create the inner part of his nose. Crazy stuff. Look, this is his words. He said, both my forearms are tattooed. So I had to make a decision over which I preferred. At least I can say I have a tattooed nose inside his nose. So inside the nose is, oh, that's terrible. I have a tattooed inside my nose. Yeah, buddy. They took bones from his ribs in the same surgery and an artery from his forearm to connect this into his neck. He had another surgery to take part of the skin from his forehead and fold it down over the top of the tattooed skin. That's why he got that thing on his forehead. He's explained having the forehead flap, it was huge on my face. They have to leave the skin connected, so you have a huge lump hanging over your eyes. Man. Surgeon decided to go private midway through his surgeries, but extra plastics team were able to step in. Now, I need help right here for people in the medical field. What does it mean when a surgeon goes private? Why did he go private midway through his surgeries? I don't understand what that, for what, and what does that mean exactly for the listeners. They completed the surgery 2023. They took more bone from his, man. Who wants to go through this? Raise your hand. Dog lovers. Yeah, you're the only ones. You're the only ones willing to say, you know what? It's worth it to have a dog around to rub on, to let it lick me, because it does nothing else for you. Everything you think it does for you emotionally, it's your imagination. Right? And it's just you. It has nothing to do with the dog at all. Wow. And, oh boy, it gets worse. They took more bone from his hip and cartilage in his rib, but it became infected. And so you run the risk of that during all these surgeries. He said, I liken it to a dream where you're naked in public. 34-year-old is now starting to accept his new appearance, but has struggled with, he's going to struggle with that the rest of his life. He said it's very difficult when you see people staring at you for too long. They look at you like an object. It was a lot of embarrassment. I bet they wasn't looking at you like that before you were attacked. He's in the exact same boat as Jacqueline Durant. Lord. He said you want to hide, but you can't. You know what? If you ask me, in my opinion, he is currently speaking for Jacqueline Durant. He's not saying everything. He's not revealing everything to us. Don't you wish you never had that dog? That's my question. And you had it for 10 years. Now, if you never owned a dog, don't you think it would have been better to go down that route? Like I should have been a cat lover, a rabbit lover, or whatever all my life. Don't you wish that? See, but they'll never say stuff like that. Because that's another way of telling all dog lovers, get rid of your dogs. They're horrible as pets. They're so loyal to dogs. It's crazy. It's as if they worship them. So you can't change things, what has happened. Okay. So he's run a fundraiser. Now look at one of these responses. You really can't make this up. Terrible, but can't blame the dog. Can you believe that? He left that post 9 hours ago. Where you at, buddy? Make that make sense. You can't blame the dog? Why not? It wasn't like the guy was physically harming the dog and then the dog mauled his face. Then you could say that. Still was having a seizure. This type of comment suggests that they agree that when you're having a seizure, you look scary. Laid out, shaking and trembling, foaming at the mouth is intimidating. It's threatening to the dumb mutt. Add that to the list of things that they say dogs are scared of. Nobody's scared of nobody having no seizure. He's like, oh, a meal, a hot, warm meal. My owner of 10 years. So what? Right? Face, here I come. And that dog kept munching. It bit once, came back, mauled, shake, rip. Just parting him up like a beautician, all up in his face, with no remorse. And you can't blame the dog, but you gave the dog credit for all the licks and being loving. See, that's what I don't like about dog culture. They give dogs full credit when they're being a good doggy. But soon as the thing reverts back to its natural self, suddenly you can't blame it for any of its behavior. Who are we blaming then? Who's at fault? Wow. And no, he is not admirable. What in the world? Now, I got one more thing I need to show y'all right about now. The Dog Lovers, y'all, as y'all know, provides for us non-stop entertainment. And oh, I'm going to have to make a short video just to focus exclusively on this. I'll be uploading that to the original channel. This is another recent story surfaced, I think, just a few hours ago. But this guy, I think he's in South Africa. I'm not sure. He wanted to hug his dog on camera. Look at this.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, that's South Africa. I can hear the accent. I hear the accent. Dog lovers, y'all get over here. Get over here. Y'all thought that was a loving hug, didn't you? You thought the dog was being, oh, sweet Pooch, he's so beautiful. Oh, look, he loves his master. No, we need full screen for this one. What did the guy do? Did he provoke the dog? Let us know exactly what he did to provoke it, please. At least for the other dog lovers in the world. Whoa, sorry. Let me cut this volume down. Because this is, so that's his cue. Okay, got that. Got that. He's probably trained it from a puppy. Right? Okay, see. Yeah, it looks like, or maybe not. Maybe he just trained it. However, the dog, you know, he trusts the dog. It seemed like he knows the dog. It's his dog. See, most of us would think the dog is giving a real hug. Like, hey, it gave him a hug. It's giving him a hug. No, it's not. You're giving a hug. It's not hugging you. See, because it's a dog, it's not a human. You see, when he leaned his head over, the dog moved his head away. Many of these gestures y'all make is the things that dogs make when they are about to attack. You know how dogs come face to face before they attack? And it's all about the facial movement, all this kind of stuff. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know how a dog is going to interpret what you're doing. You don't understand their brains. You need to act on that. He was sit up there, that big Kool-Aid smile. He thought he did it. Like, oh, I did it. I have a TikTok video. Look at that. He ain't smiling right now. Then the hooker, all teeth. All teeth. You think it's being affectionate, huh? It's a dog. You see how he did that, right? He tried to lean in. You dummy. Listen, today people got TikTok brains. They got social media brains. And they do whatever they see is being done on social. Whatever's trending, like dog ownership. And being in South, oh my goodness. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? That went from a hug to violence fast. That went from a Dodo video. I bet you Dodo was watching this video and thought, oh, look, we got more content. This is a new video, people. TikTok was like, oh, look at this. But this ruined the TikTok experience. Man, oh man. Man, I don't trust people. I don't trust people who wear, or at least men. I don't trust men who wear tight pants. I just wanted to throw that out there. Now let's finish this because it's funny how they ended the video. Let go of me. The dog obviously is dominant over you. This is telling, if you ask me, to how deranged dog brains are. You know what I'm saying? Most people would think, oh, the dog's being affectionate, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you suspect that, hey, if it's doing this, then that is the dog's display of affection? They understand hugs well enough to give one themselves. No. That's just what it is, dog lovers. As much as that looks like genuine affection coming from the dog, it wasn't. This is not a hug. I don't know what this dog think it's doing. It's doing, I'll tell you what it's doing. It's doing what it had been trained to do to get food. Because they've done this 1,000 times and they only reward the dog when it does that. Yes, oh yes, that's all they do. So it's not affection. I've been saying this for years. It's not affection. It's food obsession. Everything they do is food related. Even the sniffing of the excrement. Because if excrement come out, they gonna eat it. They smelling something, sniffing on something that they want to eat. That's all it signals to me. These nasty mutants, what it is, they can smell the excrement inside another dog's colon. Understand? When they find excrement on the ground, they eat it. So when they sniffing other dogs' buttholes, it's because they can smell something emitting out of there. I don't believe it's to get their scent. Get their scent for what? Y'all talk like these are sophisticated creatures. They're not. Get their scent for what? What it's going to do with a scent? These are just mutants that y'all should be ashamed to have created. Shame on you, all of you. Now I'm going to leave it there because this video is already longer than I intended. Big shout out to Door D, who has become a member of the channel. I heard somebody had problems becoming a member. If any of you have issues, please let me know. And I hope you all are able to join me on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.